Latest issue of Golf Digest, January 2020. This was a really exciting one for GolfTec. We had 35 coaches named on the best in state list, and then I did a tip that's on page 70 involving a door frame. Tough part about these articles that you do in magazines, you probably have about 100 words to tell a story, and it's really difficult. So I thought I'd give you the whole thing right here. So this doorway is the same one that's pictured in that article. And let me try to explain what the article is really telling you the story about, because this can get pretty complicated. So what I'm suggesting in the article, just in those few words, is that at the top of the backswing you have your head placed up against this door jamb, just like you did at a dress, so you can move that way. What that's helping you do is really stretch out your the top of your spine, your thoracic spine, and really stretch backwards, like you're retracting your shoulders or pulling those back, making your chest puff out like you're a superhero getting ready to fly through the air. So that's the idea. Now let me explain how most people do this part of the backswing very poorly, and it leads to hitting the ball a very short distance. So it's a common story in golf to be told to get behind the ball, as though that's a big part of hitting it farther. I don't really disagree with that, but also don't agree with it in the simplest terms. So in the backswing, if you move your head away from the target, you move your chest away from the target, you move your hips away from the target. If you did that for too long, your left arm, my lead arm, can really only get so high into the air, and it's really challenging to make a long backswing. Your range of motion is very limited. In a way, you've made yourself very inflexible. Now, the best golfers that you see on TV who might do that, by the time they get to the top of their swing, they've actually repositioned themselves pretty close to what I described in that article. Now, I don't really think that's beneficial in a tremendous way. I think that's kind of like the rust on the bridge of their swing. That isn't what makes them great. That's just a small thing that they do that's a little bit different. So what I would suggest for most people, to make a longer swing, you want to have the most stretching you can of your thoracic spine and the top of your chest. And the way that you can learn to do that is by making a backswing where you keep your head all the way up against that door jamb. Stretch out your chest as much as you can. It's going to feel like you're pulling your shoulders back without separating your arms. That's a really nice way to raise the club up into the air. So the worst golfers move to the right, stay there, can't raise the shaft up very high, and then everything you're trying to do hit the ball far has now been mitigated and you can't. What I'm suggesting is, if anything, if you want to practice how to make the longest swing you could stretch out where you actually feel your head pushing into the door jamb more than what you want. So this is very contradictory, I think, to what's typically told for how to hit a ball far, but it's really that stretching of your thoracic spine and your chest, everything up from your sternum upward in the backswing is critical to you being able to raise your arms up into the air without having to pull them apart or overly flex your wrists to make a swing longer. That should be an easy thing to do all winter long to help you hit some longer drives come spring when you stand on the first tee. So if you need some help with this, at GolfTec we measure this part of the swing to help you recognize if you're doing it right or wrong. But a GolfTec coach can help you with any golf problem that you've got.